r/ask Reddit. What should society be less accepting of? The expectation that employees be reachable constantly even outside of work hours or during paid and paid time off. It effectively creates a situation where you are on call 24/7. This was not an expectation set at hire and is not an expectation of my position in general, but they sent out an email telling everyone to put their cell into a spreadsheet. I just didn't. They sent a stern reminder email. I still didn't. They highlighted the 3 people out of 80 who didn't put their cell S in. I do not care. Pay for my cell phone bill if you expect me to use it for work. To follow up what the guy above said, I don't think paying for your cell phone plan, or even a cell phone, is adequate for this kind of position. I don't know if you have casual loading in the US, but there should be some kind of 24/7 loading automatically added to the wage of people expected to do this plus phone. Misinformation. It sucks that when someone posts something on social media that can be debunked with a 10-second Google search, and you point this out, you're the one who everyone will think is a twat. I remember reading a Facebook post about how if you input your PIN code backwards at the ATM, the police will be alerted of the robbery. This information is not only false but incredibly dangerous. Imagine someone attempting this and then playing the situation in hopes that the police will be coming at any moment, but the police aren't coming. Drunk driving. It takes like 4 DUIs in my state before it's a felony. It was worse before the 90s or so. Back then it was treated like a joke, no worse than a speeding ticket. If you were middle class or well known in town, the cops would forget to give a breathalyzer and drive you home. People who get on an elevator before others have had a chance to get off. Using the phone while driving. More accidents occur because of phone usage than drunk driving. I don't want to get hurt because you had to text your boyfriend. I even see cops doing it. Child beauty pageants. I remember in GTA IV, if you go on the internet in that game and go to a child beauty pageant, you literally get a 5-star police on site. And honestly, that's one of the best moments in video games. When you go to the internet cafe and search for Little Lacey surprise pageant, then the LCPD show up and you have 5 stars. The inability to accept that you are wrong. You are not the divine being that is all-knowing and is never wrong. Every single person can be wrong about something. Bad parenting and getting children when the conditions the children have to live in would clearly be bad. It's way easier to mess up a young brain than men seem to realize. Also, pressuring people who don't want kids for whatever reason to have kids for any reason. Not using turn signals. Definitely, and for the love of Pete, turn them on at least 100 feet before you turn. I've almost been in and seen wrecks caused by drivers seemingly randomly hitting their brakes and starting to turn before hitting the blinkers. Pisses me right off. People having phone conversations on speaker in public, or sitting your kid down with a YouTube video with the speaker on in public. I don't care that it keeps your kid under control. Every generation before this had to learn to behave in public without the help of a screen. My country's long distance trains have a certain number of silent carriages. I always book those and then these rules are never enforced. I speak up about it, but people treat you like a fascist for pointing out that the carriage is specifically marked a silent carriage with signs reminding everyone not to take phone calls. People who come up with plans then don't follow through with them without a little common courtesy. Agree with this, especially because people spend time getting ready for the plans and in some cases, preparing mentally to go through with plans or getting excited. Getting a pet only to dump it in a shelter a year later when it is no longer convenient to have a pet. I knew someone who got a puppy and took it back to the breeder after a couple weeks because it was needy and annoying. Like, no shit, a-hole. It's a puppy. JFC. Do people not know what a puppy will be like before getting a puppy? Does it just never go through their minds that they are getting a living, breathing creature who may not be silent and still at all times? People who are late, either on purpose or without regard for others. My best friend is chronically late, so I just lie when I tell her to meet me. Like if I want to leave at 9, I'll tell her to meet me at 8:45. I've definitely noticed since I moved out west that people are generally more relaxed, which is cool to an extent. But when I'm on a time constraint, I'll pull that trick and tell them to meet me 10-15 minutes earlier, lol. Not vaccinating your kids. That's just abuse. My colleague has been complaining about the novel coronavirus every day since it emerged in China, worried about it affecting her kids at school, and yet she doesn't vaccinate her kids for the flu. When they get fevers, she wonders why it happens. I don't appreciate her coughing and sneezing all over my desk when she comes over either. Annoys the shit out of me that she doesn't understand the irony. Pack mentalities. The lack of individualism and free thought is mind-blowing to me. Yeah dude, me too. Rich people and politicians breaking laws as they please. Like Epstein's Island list, every person in that should at least have been investigated and not swept under the rug. Planned obsolescence. This does my nut in. That and things that are made to be unfixable to the user. Men being treated like they aren't allowed to have feelings. Treating retail service workers like garbage. These people have zero control over their company's policies. But some customers think it's okay to take their frustration out on service workers in the nastiest of ways. The customer is not always right, and there needs to be less enabling and more shaming in response to Karen behavior. Blindly following the popular opinion. People don't think for themselves nearly as much as they should. There is no harm in taking a minute to research the accuracy of something before stating your opinion on it. Built-in obsolescence. Products absolutely ducking suck nowadays. Nothing lasts more than a few years, and that's entirely by design. All products should either be guaranteed through a significant period of time, or come with a sticker detailing its expected lifespan. Driving high. Crazy how many people think it's fin to drive stoned. I know it's not as dangerous as driving drunk. There are studies on this, but it's still an idiotic, irresponsible and selfish thing to do. Canceling people. Cancel culture has a place, such as with dangerous people who otherwise think themselves untouchable. But come on, people need to not be dragged through the mud for something that's been blown out of proportion. Disregard for facts and thorough thought process. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.